predator would probably want to take me before taking you because I'm smaller. Because, okay, if you want to use that term.
Well, guys, right now, IMPD says they have a backlog of 6,600 rape kits, some dating back to 1995.
That not only was he not allowed to talk, but you weren't allowed to like him because he was an incredibly bad person. And our view on that always is we'll decide for ourselves, since we're adults and Americans, and we'll listen to anyone we want, and we'll come to any conclusion we care to come to about what that person is about. So we...
Toxic masculinity is a term that was invented by women nobody wants to fuck to describe the men that the women do fuck.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's all it is.
You cheater, you cheating. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch! If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise, and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them. Your house is only haunted if you believe in ghosts. Belief is a powerful thing. If I were to stand in front of you, and I were to tell you that I could punch you as hard as I can in your sternum, and I could fracture it and send a splinter into your heart, would you allow me to try? You wouldn't, because you know I believe I can. I believe I can hurt any man on the planet, and that's why people are afraid of me. And you believe depression is a crippling disease, and that's why you're afraid of it. If you believe in ghosts, belief is a powerful thing. If I were to stand in front of you, and I were to tell you that I could punch you as hard as I can in your sternum, and I could fracture it and send a splinter into your heart, would you allow me to try? You wouldn't, because you know I believe I can. I believe I can hurt any man on the planet, and that's why people are afraid of it.
Shut up!
And you believe depression is a crippling disease, and that's why you're afraid of it.
And so I changed my identity this morning to a white man, 40-year-old white man, okay, with good credit, with a credit score of 800.
This was deliberate. This isn't an accident. This isn't an unintended side effect. This is exactly what Joe Biden promised he would do, and it's what he's done. If you look...
Will not replace us! Jews will not replace us! Jews!
I'll never forget that. You will not replace us.
Fourth in the country for high school girls who are raped while they're in high school.
Coalition CEO Beth White says there's still more work to be done. She says the issue of sexual assault ends up leading into a bigger problem of human trafficking.
And might not have access to paid family leave or affordable child care.
So the pay gap won't close. If we do nothing, it won't close for another 40 years. For Black and Latino women, it won't close for more than 100 years, so a century. So essentially, my daughter or my daughter's daughter won't see pay equity in their lifetime.
Women have suffered more job losses than men, and women still in the workforce continue to face a grim reality.
Will not replace us! Jews will not replace us! Jews!
I'll never forget that. You will not replace us.
Also make less than men.
I know a couple of male trainers who have been training as much as I have been training, and I think we more or less have the same experience, and they are able to charge more per session, and it's always so weird. Like, I don't know why, but as a woman, it's always so hard to kind of like impose my price.
In 2018, women earned about 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. For Black women, 62 cents, and for Latino women, just 54 cents. This is a driver of the wealth gap, which can mean a woman at retirement age accumulates about $1 million less than her male counterpart.
A little bit of culture. So there's this video that went out. It is by a person named Cardi B, who has a rather checkered past. I mean, she's talked on video about how she used to drug men and steal their money after bringing them back as what, a quasi-prostitute, something like that. And then she became a rapper, so American success story. And there's is women fighting for the equal right to talk about their wet-ass P-word. That's what WAP stands for. So here are the actual lyrics. Okay, and this is not demeaning to women in any way. It's not demeaning to women in any way. It doesn't turn women into sex objects. It doesn't make men think of women in a purely sexual fashion. It is women empowering themselves. It is super empowerment.
And I decided to change my identity, and everybody else get to. You know, it worked for everybody else.
Of Black and Hispanic men, do you want to know what holds them down? Gangs.
And a partner at a law firm. I never really went to law school, but I identify as a lawyer.
The sheriff comes out. He typically does that when he's ready to let all the attorneys into the courtroom. I'm like the second person in line. I'm like, oh, hey, good morning, whatever. He physically puts his body in between me and the door and is like, please step to the side. And I'm like, okay. Step to the side. He lets everyone else come in. He turns to me and goes, what's your name? And I was like, oh, my name is Brooklyn Crockton. He was like, I don't have you here on the docket. Like, are you sure you're in the right courtroom? And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, are you sure you're in the right courtroom? Like,
dealing drugs is what holds them down.
Are you the defendant? And I was like,
dealing drugs is what holds them down.
I was like, no, you know, I am the attorney. Actually, I have never been so embarrassed in my entire life. Like, I felt like crying in that moment. And the crazy part about it is you hear stories like this all the time with Black attorneys. But when it happens to you, it is just so visceral that you don't even know what to say. And he called for all the attorneys and I'm literally in line. Like, why would you assume that I was a defendant? I think we all know why.
Was trying to get a loan from the bank for $1 million. I told them, you know, my net worth was I identify as a wealthy white man. And the bank told me that I falsified my documents. How can you say I falsified my documents when that's what I identify as a white?
Pay gap persists because gender-based pay discrimination, although illegal, is widespread. Women also work in lower-paying jobs and might not have access to paid family leave or affordable child care.
So the pay gap...
Everyone's up in arms, carrying on like pork chops, so let's set the record straight.
Oh, we deserve equal pay. We play the same sport. We do the same kicking of the ball.
Shut the fuck up. I hate this fucking attitude that you're all entitled to a fucking handout. You don't deserve shit. It's such a childish fucking attitude that you should just expect things to fall into your lap. Go out there and fucking earn it. The argument for the wage gap continues, and equal pay is often throughout the news, and particularly in sport, we seem to be talking about it a lot at the moment. Even though the wage gap itself has been constantly disproved, and it is obviously illegal to pay anyone less because of their gender, it still rages on, and the debate continues. For some fucked up reason. But in sport, it is absolutely an inferno at the moment, particularly after the cries across the social justice world after the USA women's soccer team won the World Cup. And firstly, congratulations to them. That's fucking sick. Honestly, I don't give a shit about soccer, but good on you.
You'll still go to the club and get attention. 99% of the men go to the club and nobody even talks to them. If they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and told them. Most men are absolutely not really invisible. This is the truth about masculinity, right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men. I know that this guy is arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. So if you just sit here and say, I'll get a G, a big G, a boss, a millionaire, and let him have a day off, very nice of you. I'm sure you would. But if a guy who wanted to have days off all the time, he never would have got important enough in the first place to attract a woman like you. And that is the reality. As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do it anyway. That's how it works. There's no such thing as saying, I'm sad, I need 2 weeks off. Not as a man if you want to be important.
Attitude that you're all entitled to a fucking handout. You don't deserve shit. It's such a childish fucking attitude that you should just expect things to fall into your lap. Go out there and fucking earn it.
Oh, now the challenge on Morgan by Van der Graaf. The boot was high in the air. VAR check is going on. Very, very high indeed from Stephanie Van der Graaf. Penalty. It's Rapinoe against Van Veenendaal. It's 1-0. The USA 1, the Netherlands 0. Helped on by Newis to the foul. The game's opening up. Rose Lavelle. Lovely run. Great goal. Brilliant goal. Rose Lavelle might have won the World Cup for the United States with a fantastic goal. The United States 2, the Netherlands 0. For the 4th time, the United States of America are crowned champions of the world, and for the very